Well, welcome to the Not So Ancient Chinese Secret Show. My name's Dave, and we talk about photo and video and food and fitness and family and faith. And today, it's a random gadget. And so it's not really pigeonholed in any one of those categories, but we're going to talk about this little teeny tiny earbud. And if you're new to the show, what we do, we shoot the breeze until this timer goes off and this arrow disappears. And when that happens, then we talk about the topic at hand. And that is going to be this beautiful earbud. And I got it on Amazon Prime, which just happened like last week. And I was kind of wanting to figure out, could I find a little earbud that I'd be happy with, that I wasn't going to be using it for phone calls or anything, but I really wanted it more for just listening to podcasts and listening to tutorials and stuff like that, because I like to learn while I'm sitting on the bike and doing my biking and stuff like that. So, and I didn't want to have two headphones, and I'm too cheap to buy stuff like the Apple EarPods, and I think my phone might be a little bit too old to even deal with that because it's just an iPhone 5, okay? So, I might not be able to get to your comments until the end, but if you have any questions, pipe on up. And if you're watching on the rebroadcast, for sure, hit me in the comments because I will do my best to make up believable answers to whatever questions you may have. So first off, what is this little tiny wonder? And so if you take a look at my finger, it's not very, okay, this is just a charger, but let's forget about that. So this thing is just puny. It's like teeny tiny, and it's only got the one button on it. I'm shaking because of the coffee, I promise. But this thing just fits in your ear, okay? And it is mono, and so it combines both left and right signals and goes into one earlobe. It's made to fit in your right ear, but I can fit it in my left ear. It just looks kind of funny when it's sitting out. And it is, why was I looking for this? Well, I already have Jaybirds. Any Jaybird users here? That's a stereo Bluetooth headset with a wire between the left and the right sides. And that's great. Although I find that the wire still bugs me, especially when I'm sweating up a storm, and I am one of the biggest sweaters that I know of. And I'm not talking about the clothing. I'm talking about the amount that comes out of my pores. And so I really find it bothersome to have a wire hanging either on my neck or on my front, on my chesticles. And so it's kind of like a strange thing to have that happen. So I was looking for this little tiny earbud that I can still listen to my podcast, listen to some music. And the other reason why I liked a mono one is for safety. I can still hear stuff. And whether I'm outside, out and about, or whether I'm just washing the car, right? I want to be able to hear my surroundings and not be totally oblivious, or else, you know what happens? Some guy literally just died by getting run over by the C train here in the city this year because he had headphones on and staring at his screen. He's like, ah! Anyways, all right, last reason is tiny. We already mentioned this, but this thing is so tiny that, I'm more worried about misplacing it than I am and losing it than I am about, oh man, this is so heavy, it's going to put in my ear. I forgot to even measure it in weight because it's so light. Honestly, I forgot it was in my ear one day, and it just kept on wearing it. So anyways, let's move on. So who is it for? You can compare this to two things. So if you own a computer, or a smartphone, which if you're watching this, you do, right? You can't watch this anywhere else. So really, it's for anybody who wants to listen to stuff. And also, it's got a built-in mic. So that means you can use it for your Skype calls, which I've done, for your phone calls, cell phone calls, which I've done. And so it's great for communication. And it's also great for listening. So very cool. And the other thing is, in the box, I was really quite pleasantly surprised. It is very well equipped for what comes in the box. So besides the actual headset, you get two different sized earbuds, not three. I used a larger one, but there's also a tinier one for people with smaller ear canals. I should take this apart so you can actually see how large. So it actually is kind of a weird little thing here. It's just got that one sound port, and you've got two silicone sizes to go. But I know I was a little bit concerned at first because this silicone just slips over this huge port, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, that port is gigantic, it's not going to fit in my ear. But that's not the part that you have to shove up your canal. It's just the little frontage of it that goes into your canal, and that's all squishy. And so I think that it might fit more people than I might No, but I know Quinn. She has tiny, tiny little ears, and I know that it's been a problem for her to have even like earbuds like the jaybirds in her ears without them falling off. So your mileage may vary. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that because fit is going to be one thing that we don't know about. What's really cool is that it comes with two of these magnetic chargers, and what's awesome, you don't need to plug in a cable. Like this thing is so tiny that you would wonder, oh my goodness, how do I plug in a cable to this? There's no ports to undo, so oh, it just kind of piggybacks. They're mating. Shh, turn away. Don't look. All right. But yeah, it's so cute. And they give you two of the charging ones. So you can keep one at the office, keep one at home. I'm lazy, so one upstairs, one downstairs, keep one in the car, etc. And so that's really cool that it's magnetic. The other thing that it gives you is a very nice little case, which I don't know if I'd use, maybe if I'm traveling, and it is zippered, and it is have these little mesh pockets, but realistically, I'd only use that every so often. But look at this box, man. Can I say, this is a really nice box. I don't know what's going on these days, but these made in China things, impressive, man. And wow, I was doubly shocked when I opened the box that the instructions were not only printed intelligibly, mostly, and there's not very much to this, but it was in English, like real English. Like I understood it. And bonus time, a very nice thick business card. Can I show you this? With like, it's got like a 1-year warranty. It's like, what? A 1-year warranty on a made in China? This is shocking. Now, caveat emptor. I have the links in the description. If you buy the wrong one, that's your fault. Because the Enacfire, they have a couple different models. And this one is the latest, greatest for 2017, which has a better battery life. And they claim upgraded everything. And so I don't know if that's true, but that's what they claim. But let's move on and talk about what is going on. And PG goes, real English. Remember when we used to call like the interpreters at our church the interrupters? No offense, Randy Chan. But anyways, Tiffany says, oh, good, gift for Gino. Yes, definitely. But you got to make sure, the one thing is make sure you give it to him before the return, because Amazon's got a great return policy, but make sure he tries it on, because I know every ear is so different. I'm kind of skipping ahead of myself, but that's the one con. You got to make sure it fits in your cochlea, your ear, okay? So Chris says sweating because of all the coffee, methinks. Oh my God, there's the meat sweats and there's the coffee sweats. Okay, I got to stop looking at the comments because it's too much fun. Okay, moving on. In use, this was terribly easy to pair. You turn it on in your ear and there's this lady who says, power on. And you press it again, you hold it and it goes, power off. It's very easy to understand. It was super easy to pair with my phone. It was super easy to pair with my MacBook Pro. And it's also super easy to switch between the two. So no problemos there. I also found that there's just one button on it. Can I show you that one button? I don't know if I can. Oh, there it is. It's just like, it looks like a little nipple. Right over here. Okay. Anyways, but there's only one button, so you can't control your volume from this baby. But I've tried the ones that you could, and I always find myself pressing it into my ear, and it's not comfortable, right? If they have the controls on the ear. So I like the fact that I need to go to my phone to control the volume. Not a big deal, but the button can also answer a call, end a call, it can reject a call, and you can redial on that too with some fancy button pressing. I honestly just answer and end calls with it with a single press. Pretty easy. All right, now, pros, price. Let's talk about this, man. How much are Apple earbuds, like the stereo ones? I know it's stereo versus mono, but they're asking for like $200 Canadian. Like that's, wow. Really? Earbuds? Okay. Yeah, and they're not supposed to even sound great. It's like, well, okay, never mind. That's subjective. But okay, this is $35 Canadian and $26 American. And it's like, oh, wow. And on Amazon Prime Day, it did go down to $30. And so I picked it up and I was shocked that I enjoyed this much. Because not only was it easy to use, but the build quality, it's all plastic. But the crazy thing is that this little guy, talking about sweat, Chris, this is IPX4 waterproof rated, and that doesn't mean much. Oh, wow, look at that magnet. Wahaha, it wants to mate. But what that means is that you can splash this from all sides without it getting destroyed. It doesn't mean you can super soaker it from all sides. It's just splash. But that gives me a little bit more confidence that, even if I'm sweating and I'm doing a workout, that I'm not going to destroy this thing. Do not submerge it. Do not wash it underwater, but splashing is fine. So you can spit at it all you want. Now, size and weight, it weighs nothing. It's really quite ridiculously light. And it's almost laughable. The battery is 50 milliamp hour, I think, 50, right? Ridiculous. But they claim to have 8-hour talk time, up to 8-hour talk time, 6 hours of listening to music or podcasts, and 150 hours of standby time on 50 milliamps. That's ridiculous. And so, of course, it's such a tiny battery. It only takes like 30 to 90 minutes to charge. So all these are great pros to it. And surprisingly, the sound quality is decent. And so whether I'm listening to a podcast or I'm listening to music, of course, it's not stereo, but in one ear, it's actually really good. And we're going to have some tips down below to how to make it sound better too. Now, for musicians like Chris, it probably will not do well for you, but I mean, it's all relative. It's not meant to replace your favorite set of cans. Okay, cons. This is the big deal here. It has a delay in the audio when you're watching videos. And I've tried this on Netflix, YouTube, and Facebook Live. And watching the videos is like the bad kung fu movie where you see the lips move and then you hear the audio. But the weird thing is, believe it or not, even if you buy not Apple, but other totally wireless stereo earbuds that I've heard like really good reviews on sound quality, they also have the same issue with audio delay when you're watching video. So this is not unique to this earbud at all. And because of this, I was concerned when I'm doing Skype or phone calls that it would also have a delay, but there was no such issue. Like, I can't hear myself on the other end and confirm that the mic sounds great, but everybody else has not complained, and I have not had anybody say, oh, I can't hear you, can you speak up? So that's been great. Of course, I haven't tried this in the middle of the street because there is no claimed noise canceling on the microphone. So in quiet rooms, it's great for Skype and it's great for phone calls. All right. So the other problem is that it kind of looks like you have a hearing aid in there. Let me just model this for you by putting this in my earlobe. And only when people actually look at you will they actually notice, but this is what it looks like in your ear. But you know how freeing it is not to have like a wire hanging by your neck and you can still hear stuff? It's quite impressive. And so anyways, that's like the only downs. And now here's a couple of tips. And the tip is really to try it before you keep it. And that's pretty no-brainer because the fact that everybody's ear canal is going to be different. And because it fits for me doesn't mean it's going to fit for you. And I know Quinn has, again, notoriously tiny ears, and so it might be a problem if it doesn't fit, okay? But the other problem is I would probably worry about getting it for my kids. I was thinking about, oh, should I get this for my kids? Because they're walking around the house and everywhere in life with one earbud in anyways. But I found that this can get actually really loud. And it was when my kids were practicing piano while I was on the bike exercising, and I realized I could turn it up so loud that it drowned out the piano. And then I realized this is probably a bad thing because the piano is literally less than 10 feet away. I can't hear the piano through that ear, and this guy's shouting at me on my tutorials. And so watch out, because even though it's mono, it's kind of it's very deceiving, because in stereo, if you plug two of them in the same volume, you'd notice how loud it is. When it's only one earbud in, you can crank it so loud that you could probably go deaf, okay? So be careful with that. And the other thing is that I find that it's great for productivity, because I just put this little guy in my ear when I'm on the bike, when I'm working out. I haven't tried jump squats and like heavy movement, aggressive workouts. And so I would worry that it would fall out a little bit. But again, it's really light. And so if it fits, I think you'll have no problems at all. Okay. Now, here's the verdict. Just go get it. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, if you can live with the fact that you're not going to be watching Netflix or movies with one earbud, and honestly, it's not meant to replace a great set of headphones and an immersive experience, but I still watch YouTube tutorials where I'm learning something and where the hit points and the timing of the audio and the video don't matter to me, right? So it's still great for that. It's great for podcasts. It's good for music. And if you're just looking for a mono wireless, true wireless headset, set, it's really inexpensive, man. Like 26 bucks, 35 bucks. That's decent. So totally would recommend it for you guys. And yeah, that's about it. I'm going to look at some of the comments, and I'm worried because I see Benjamin Newton here. Welcome here, Ben. I mean, I love you. Okay. Tiffany, okay, yeah, okay, saw that. And PG says, Randy, uh-oh, did you tag him? Trouble. Okay, Benjamin, where did the collar of your shirt go? Did you buy it like that, or did it get that way? You know, what happened one day was that I just busted right through my t-shirt. I just wanted to show you more cleavage, Benjamin. Okay, Asian men don't sweat. Oh, I beg to differ. Asian men sweat. We just have no hair. Okay? Like my son was literally at volleyball, beach volleyball, and then the coach said, "You don't have armpit hair?" Why is this a question? Anyways, okay. But we sweat like crazy, okay? Sweat and hair is different. Brett Merrill, good. Welcome to the show, man. I hope you're selling tons of houses. All right. Chris says, I have the audio delay with my car Bluetooth while streaming video. Not while I'm driving, of course. Ha ha ha. Good one. Damon, hey, welcome to the show. But yeah, that's all I have for today. But I do have a thought of the day. And so, again, links are in the description. If I have any updates, I will update them in the links. And I'm hoping in the future we can get one cheapy one just like this that is going to fix those audio delay issues. And I'm sure we will because technology always marches forward. But for now, this is really good for the price, for the value, for the sound quality, for everything else. So I recommend it. Okay, cool. All right. Let's talk about the thought of the day. And here it is. We must take change by the hand, or rest assuredly, change will take us by the throat. Wow. Winston Churchill, genius of a smoker. But I love that. And I think as creatives, sometimes I oscillate between loving change and hating change. And maybe that's just all of life, but this reminds me again that we should always be ready for that, and the only constant is change. And so thanks so much for being here, guys. God bless. And remember, you can always subscribe to the show, and we've got now text notification, so you'll never miss another show. Da, 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 da. So thanks for being here. God bless, and we'll see you in the next show.